Baybars who is founder and editor of a fact-checking website. It's an NGO. It's called Doruluk Paye. Welcome to NewsHour. First of all, let's just establish why you felt the need to set up a fact-checking website.
Hi. It was back in 2014 when we were decided to launch a fact-checking website in Turkey because we had the presidential elections in August 2014 was coming up, and then the national elections were on the agenda. So me and my friends were like, let's do fact-checking in Turkey. And with the given polarized and heated political discourse in the country, factual storytelling and data-driven reporting would have provided a really important impact on Turkish media and politics. So that's why we founded Doruluk Paye like 4 years ago.
Okay, so there was definitely reason for you felt to set up the website. This campaign, like many others in Turkey before it, have been pretty divisive. As you said, the country is deeply polarized between those who support the AK Party and President Erdogan and those who don't. What have been the trends that you've seen in this campaign that suggest to you that there is a need for what you've been doing?
Absolutely. I can easily say that this election has been one of the most heated and decisive campaigns we have ever seen, especially since 2014, where we were going to the polls as Turks, like constantly. So one of the trends I see very important to address here is that this election is the first elections that the President Erdogan has felt this pressure coming from this popular candidate Muharrem İnce, and an emotional aspect of the campaign has flourished, especially among the youth in the country. And we clearly see the mobilization and the excitement within the people who felt this need to change for so many years in the country. And as a follow-up of the recent referendum that took place in April 2017, this looks like an election that we will see long-term implications, no matter which candidate will get out of the election as a winner.
Give me an example then of the kinds of things that have been that you've seen, misinformation from either side or from both sides. Let's talk about the AK Party and Muharrem İnce's CHP.
As a fact checker, we always put so much emphasis on the issues that we can fact check based on the data publicly available, and this made us to concentrate on the economic related statements coming from both candidates. And given the fact that Erdogan has benefited the growth in the economy in Turkey for especially in his first couple of terms, economy is still holds an important role in the public discourse. Coming from the opposition side, many statements are pointing out the situation of the country in terms of the the unemployment rate, the reducing the growth, and disparities among the public in the micro level. And contrary to that, the government plays put so much emphasis on the infrastructure and on the investments that are being provided as a way to convince people to vote them for another term.
I suppose we should remind listeners that the argument on the opposition side is that President Erdogan has structured it so that 90% of the media is for the AK Party and the president. And in that context, facts become really important, don't they?
Absolutely, and given the recent data published, shared by a member of the high radio and television board in the country, we see that there's a huge lack of fairness among the coverage of the political candidates, both in the public stations and also by the private stations, as you well put out.
Baybars fact checker extraordinaire, thank you very much indeed for joining us here live on NewsHour here in Istanbul. That's it from us here in Turkey.